Hi everyone, my name is Bianca Stakes. Even though I know all of you, I'm going to go ahead and say my name is Bianca Stakes. I'm going to talk with you guys about my campaign proposal, and even though you can't see me, I hope you can definitely hear me. I'm going to just go through the paper really quickly and mostly just discuss my resource materials because that's where the bulk of the interesting stuff is. So first, I'm going to let you know that I did my campaign proposal on the LSUS Alumni Association, and they are a nonprofit organization based on, obviously, our alumni. And I was focusing on their need to improve membership enrollment. And it was important for me to first find a target audience. And so what I did to do that is I went on the LSUS website and I found out that our most recent graduates are in the age group of the 20s and 30s. And so I decided that I was going to just target recent graduates and those who are about to graduate. And so what I did was I found out, or I researched rather, what kind of campaign would target this age demographic. And so I basically wrapped my campaign around this specific demographic, just age. And so the type of campaign that would target this audience would be social media. And so I decided that I would do that, and I only use the channels of Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And I did this because I also did further research and found that those three channels are the most popular in 2017 for public relations purposes. So that is the brief synopsis of what I decided to do. I'm going to go into a little bit of detail. So justification. Why in the world was this need such a big deal? Well, I talked to the director of Alumni Association at LSUS, Diane Howell, and she mentioned to me a lot of things about alumni membership and why it's important. The alumni are a critical role at LSUS. They influence a lot of the current students, and they also, because they create opportunities to engage, and there are a lot of fundraising opportunities, and there are a lot of important things that the alumni does, like scholarships and events. And if there aren't a lot of alumni involved, it doesn't really create a lot of opportunities for that to happen. And so it's really important for there to be a lot of alumni in the association. And as years go by and more alumni or more graduates are going through the university and they're not joining the alumni association, there becomes a gap between the amount of students that have graduated and the amount of students in the association. And so it's really important that that students are joining. So there was actually an astonishing statistic she shared with me that about 25 alumni join the association per academic year, which is not very good when there are nearly 1,000 students graduating per academic year. So there's definitely a need for this campaign. Resources, there aren't very many for a social media campaign. Obviously, good computer service and fast internet. I also, in addition to the social media campaign, want to design a flyer to advertise the social media channels and let the target audience know that they exist. So for that part of it, there would need to be design programs and someone who can design if the practitioner cannot. So you might need to hire a graphic designer and a printer, a printing company as well would be part of the resources. Summary timeline. I went ahead and made the timeline according to the semester, so it would be approximately 3 months. And I just made, aside from the paragraph here, I made a brief calendar of the semester here. And I just did a couple of weeks for research and a week for developing objectives, and then basically the bulk of time for objectives and implementation of those objectives, and then the final week for evaluation. Analyzing the audience. So I pretty much shared that with you guys already. The audience is that younger demographic. Obviously, there are outliers. We have plenty of non-traditional students being a commuter school, and so obviously that doesn't cover everybody, and not everybody will be able to be reached this way. It was basically just an average demographic. Research. Primary research. Primary research is definitely going to come from Diane Howell, because she is actually the only employee in the Alumni Association besides myself as a student worker. So she is the source for the Alumni Association. So it's very important that I would have gotten a lot of information from her as a primary in terms of interviews and necessary information about the target audience, as well as her as a client in the organization. Secondary research is most certainly going to be information about social media and all of those things that I need to know to make sure that a good social media campaign is being run. Verification research. I think that a good verification research for this campaign would be to do an additional research with Diane, because then you're getting additional information about the association that you might have missed in that additional in that initial interview. Because when you're going along with the campaign, you might realize, oh, I don't know this, I don't know that. I think the verification research would be a good thing to do during the implementation phase. Goals and objective. Obviously, the main goal is to increase membership enrollment. I developed a few specific objectives also in the framework of the semester. So my main objectives, specifically my quantifiable objectives, were to increase new graduate annual membership, which is the membership that would be for students graduating right after graduation. It wouldn't be designed for someone who graduated 10 years ago. So my objectives are to increase new graduate annual membership by 20 members for spring 2017 commencement, to increase awareness of the LSUS Alumni Association by 20% by the spring 2017 commencement, to enhance favorable attitudes toward the LSUS Alumni Association by 20% by the spring 2017 commencement, and to improve social media activity by 20% by the spring 2017 commencement. I think that these objectives are reachable. I think they're also hard, but I think it's important to set hard objectives because it gives you something to shoot for. And if you don't make it, that's okay. You try again. But anyways, so those are my objectives, and I think that they all have good purpose in trying to increase enrollment, because the more activity you have on social media and the more favorable attitudes you have towards the association, the more gravity you're going to have towards the association, and therefore then you would have membership enrollment increase. Messages and themes. So the whole overarching theme for this thing is that pilot family forever. You'll see in my resources when we get there that everything has hashtag pilot family forever. Because as I was speaking with Diane Howell, the whole thing with LSUS is because it's a commuter school, we don't really get that college experience. We have the everybody hangs out with everybody family feeling. And so the idea is that when you're in the Alumni Association, you still get to have that family feeling. You still get to feel like you're a part of the pilot family. And so the idea with this campaign is to appeal to that feeling with a lot of graphics and a lot of verbiage and photographs that appeal to that warm, fuzzy feeling of when you were at LSUS and you were always connected with people, you were always connected with groups, you were always connected, even on these online classes. You know, I feel like y'all are my best friends because we get through these tough MCOM courses together as family. And I'm going to remember those things when I'm no longer at LSUS. And so these are the messages and themes that I thought would work perfectly for this campaign, not only because of the type of university it is, but because it encompasses the way that LSUS works, and it encompasses the way that this target audience would be reached the best. The strategies and channels of communication, I've already discussed that, is going to be social media with Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, and the flyer. And I just further discussed that in my research paper. And budget is going to be devastatingly low for this, which is awesome for the association should they want to implement this. Any cost would be if they chose to outsource the printing for the flyer, which I would highly suggest. I think a high quality flyer is always more appealing than just printing it in an office. And also if they needed to hire a graphic designer. Evaluation. Evaluation is so critical. I outlined specific evaluation instructions in my proposal about how to outline each social media channel and a evaluation interview with the client. I think it's important to have the client's opinion on everything because the client should feel included in everything, and it's also important to have the client's feedback. You want to know if they think you did a good job as a practitioner, and you want to know if they think the campaign was successful and how they feel on their end. And so other than that, as far as evaluation, I just included statistical things and how to gather that statistical information from a social media standpoint in each individual channel. Now, resource materials. All of these mock-ups here are Instagram mock-ups, and each one is considerate of the messages and theme of Pilot Family Forever. This one here is an encouragement to join the association. This one here is an advertisement for the golf tournament. This one is an advertisement for the annual meeting party. This one here is also an advertisement to join. This one's an ad for the grad fair. And this was an alumni of the month. Just fun stuff to post ideas for the Instagram. These are Facebook post mock-ups. And this here on the left is an outline of what I would want to do for daily posts. Mondays, I have a Member Monday. Tuesday, I have Tuesday Talks. Wednesday, Worldwide Wednesday. Thursday, I have Throwback Thursday. Friday, I have Family Friday. And I have little descriptions of each one. I'm running out of time here on my little presentation thing. This software only gives me a certain amount of time to briefly discuss, but here I have outlined what I would like to do on each day for Facebook specifically. I don't have that outlined for each channel, but I would like to do that for Facebook for this campaign. And then also for Facebook, I have like what it would look like for an event or an advertisement. And then I have some Twitter mock-ups as well. And here I have the flyer for advertising the social media channels. So I hope that you guys have some cool insights from my campaign and that you enjoyed my little narration of sharing my campaign. And I wish you guys the best of luck on your campaign proposals. And thank you very much. Good night.